It was past midnight when Aisha boarded the last bus home. The streets of the city were empty, fog curling around the flickering streetlights. She sat by the window, pulling her scarf tighter around her shoulders. The bus smelled of old dust and rainwater, and only 3 other passengers sat, scattered in the dim light. The bus rumbled through the city, its engine echoing like a heartbeat. Aisha tried to distract herself with her phone, but strangely there was no signal. She frowned. This never happened in the city, one by one. The passengers began to leave. First the old woman with the shopping bag, then the man in the long coat, until only Aisha remained. She looked around. Empty seats, silent aisles. Only the driver sat at the front, his face hidden in the shadows of the mirror. Aisha leaned forward. "Excuse me, how long until the last stop?" she asked. The driver did not respond. The bus kept moving deeper into the fog. She tapped her phone again. Still no signal. She felt her stomach tighten. The streets outside no longer looked familiar. Narrow roads, lined with broken buildings, windows gaping like hollow eyes. She was certain the bus wasn't on its usual route. Finally, she stood up and walked toward the driver. "Sir, I think I need to get off here." Slowly, the driver turned his head. Aisha froze. His face was pale, expressionless, and his eyes were completely black. Her breath caught in her throat. She stumbled backward down the aisle, heart racing. But before she could scream, she noticed something in the reflection of the bus window. Rows of people sitting in the seats behind her. Dozens of them, silent, motionless, their faces pale, their eyes empty, watching her. Yet when she spun around, the seats were empty. The driver's voice, low and hollow, finally broke the silence. "You shouldn't have stayed this late. You're the last passenger tonight." The bus slowed to a stop in front of a cemetery gate. The doors creaked open with a hiss. Cold night air swept inside. The driver looked at her in the mirror, his mouth curling into a thin smile. "This is where you get off." Aisha shook her head, tears welling in her eyes. "No, please." But invisible hands, cold as ice, grabbed her arms, pulling her from the seat. She screamed as the shadowy passengers appeared again in the reflection, rising from their seats, guiding her toward the door. The last thing she saw, before the bus pulled away into the fog, was the iron gate of the cemetery closing behind her. By morning, the bus was found parked at its depot. The driver swore he had completed his route alone. No record of Aisha boarding that night was ever found, and sometimes, they say if you take the last bus past midnight, you can still see her face staring back at you from the window, waiting for someone to join her.